In today's video, we're going to be speaking about games that disappointed us, as I wave my beautiful eyebrows. So it's safe to say that as much as games that changed our lives, which you can check out, by the way, it's on our channel, there are also games that inexplicably brought nothing but pain and disappointment upon release. And there's quite a few that we can pull from. And there's actually one that I actually want to speak about, but we've obviously got time to do that. So I want to know, Yuri, if there's a game that really disappointed you.
I mean, to be fair, there's not one game. There's games. There's games. And I'm going to start with one that I held close to my heart when I saw it in E3. Because when they came on stage, Ubisoft, I'll talk about you, yeah? When they came on stage, they were like, new IP, guys, intellectual property thing, like, check out our new game. It's going to blow your mind. AAA title. Like, when you come onto the E3 stage and you announce a AAA game.
Fresh IP.
Yeah. People are expecting. They're expecting. And when it comes from Ubisoft, they're expecting big. And to their credit, they delivered big.
They did.
In that E3 presentation. In that presentation, they delivered big.
And when they topped it off with this IP that you're about to talk about.
Like when this IP came on at the end of their show, like sandbox game, which I love. I love sandbox games.
Yeah.
You can do all kinds of stuff, like hack into people's computers, check out surveillance, all that kind of stuff. Like
mess up someone's gun.
Like just do a whole load of stuff just from this here phone.
People can come into your game
it was crazy.
And hack your stuff.
It was crazy.
Oh man.
Talk about none other than Watch Dogs.
That's right.
Watch Dogs.
That's right. And how did it disappoint you? How did it disappoint us and the community? Tell us.
Man. So they came on stage. They were like, new IP, guys. As I said, new IP, all of this, all of that. Here, watch some gameplay. So
gameplay was crisp. Oh my goodness.
Gameplay comes on. We've got Aiden Pierce, main character, walking down the streets of Chicago. Coat just swanging.
Bro, wet as hell.
Graphics it's pouring down with rain. They're like, yeah, this is what the game is going to look like, guys.
Yeah.
Like, this is what you're going to get.
Graphically intense,
This is what you're going to get, guys.
That club scene when he walked into the club.
Man.
Oh my god.
Like, literally, that whole presentation for Watch Dogs was just...
sex.
It was just... man. It was soundgasm. It was gamegasm. Gamism. And then the game came out. Capped at 1080p. 30 frames per second.
Driving was awesome. Oh my god. Imagine going from GTA driving to Watch Dogs driving. Jeebus crispy.
The game was just not what we expected.
It was cheeks and not the nice kind.
Like, it was just bad.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad. It was kind of buggy in the beginning, and they kind of made up for it really quickly with like day one patches and whatnot. But it was not what we saw on that stage.
Yeah.
And Ubisoft, I don't know if you're watching this, but don't do that again.
And guess what? They didn't. Watch Dogs 2 was amazing.
Yeah. Exactly. Watch Dogs 2 came back and it was a great game.
It was good. Legions was like very fun as well.
I haven't played that one.
It's a fun game.
But
they brought it back.
They kind of brought it back, yeah.
Yeah.
Because Watch Dogs 1 was not that.
It was pain. It was pain. Like, and it's funny because I remember hearing somewhere that the presentation that they showed was a specific area within the game that they had boosted up the graphics for, and it also wasn't on the platform. It was on like PC or something.
And like, that's the thing though. When you're gonna do stuff like that, which kind of,
it's the new trade now.
Because basically, what Ubisoft done in that moment then was set standards for games.
Yeah.
When they're presented in future,
Mm-hmm,
because now every time you see a game, you see rendered in engine which means
Yes.
which means that it's not on the console itself.
It's within the engine
it's
that
within
they've
the
made
engine in which they made the game.
Right. Yeah.
And then sometimes you see, so you see either captured in engine or captured in game. And in game obviously means it's on the console and they're capturing it from the console at whatever frame rate, whatever dimensions, 4K, what have you. So like they set that precedent for all the games coming out after then. Yeah. Because publishers just don't want to disappoint anymore.
They don't, yeah.
Because
really don't.
they know that if they do, it's going to get techie. So,
and we've seen with one of the games that we're about to speak about how that happened.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I completely agree with you. Like, Watch Dogs was one of those ones where I remember being in a group call, like watching that stream happen and just being like, yo, this game is about hacking. Like, in pop culture, hacking is just I'm in.
Yeah.
Type of thing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's legit. All of this complicated stuff, but to play a game where
you can hack from your mobile phone.
You're connected from your mobile phone. You're hacking into other people, and like even just the concept of someone coming into your own game, provided you've got internet access on, like someone hopping into your game and hacking you, and you having to track them down and find them and get rid of them, and it was sick. But the end product at the time was just not it, man. Yeah. Like I remember so clearly playing GTA 5 and driving around, just skewering the streets of Los Santos, and then hopping into Watch Dogs, and I can barely control the car, bro. Stiff as hell.
But let's not get it twisted, though. Watch Dogs visually
sick
was dead.
Yeah.
But the story, man.
Yeah, it was good.
The story was good. Yeah. The story was good.
Yeah, it's got very, 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 very good storyline.
Yeah.
And well, it's funny because even we can just segue into disappointing game after disappointing game, but another one I want to get into, which had just as much of an expectation, I feel like, graphically speaking, as Watch Dogs, was none other than Iron Man Simulator.
What?
Anthem. Iron Man Simulator Anthem, yeah? Yo. When I saw the trailer, I thought
you actually meant Iron Man Simulator. No. Car. That game actually exists.
Yeah. I had it on Wii. Well, I had an Iron Man 2 game on Wii.
Yeah.
But
like there's actual like Iron Man games and there's like Iron Man VR games.
Yeah, Simulator.
Which are basically Iron Man Simulator.
Yeah, no.
Like fully legit Iron Man labeled Marvel Iron Man Simulator.
Yeah. But I call Anthem that. But
it was though. Anthem was Iron Man Simulator because everyone looked at that game. I was like, oh crap! Like I can fly around in a suit. That's Iron Man things.
When you see the trailer that they showed for Anthem, you hop in a nice mechanical bodysuit, zoom up through the skies of whatever planet you're on.
Speeding.
Your speed, like it feels crazy. You can even dive into water.
Yeah.
Do all of this nut stuff. And the way it was presented, I was like, yo.
Yeah.
I think I even spoke to you about it. I was like, yo, I need to get this game.
And I got it.
And you got it.
Day one.
So
and I got the steelbook. Like I got the whole of it. Listen,
you got the whole 9 yards, bro.
Gassed.
That game looks so. I would so much go as far like that game looks sexier than Watch Dogs.
Oh, 100.
Like that game was just, oh my days, it was sick, and it was just something I feel like the community was waiting for. They didn't know they needed it until it came, basically.
Yeah, literally.
So when it came and it was just like, yo, bodysuit, flying around, hella Gatling guns and everything, like just hella Iron Man versions, basically, just out here just fighting like demons and shit.
Just hella Mark 4s and hella Mark 5s.
Gee, so I want to know, as someone who has the Steelbook Collector's Edition day one, what about that game disappointed you?
I feel like, so visually, it was, it blew my mind, literally.
Yeah.
It blew my mind visually. I feel like where the disappointments came were the end game.
Okay.
Because there was none. There was no end game. There was no end game. Like, you do the story, you finish the story, and then you do nothing.
Right.
Bear in mind, I haven't really finished the game, but I do know what entails.
Yes.
Like from having seen from like people in the community talking about it, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But there was just no end game. There's I think it was like fortresses or whatever it's called. Because again, I didn't get there, but strongholds.
Yes.
That's what they were called.
Yes.
So there were like all sorts of like strongholds that you would have to do again and again and again. So in our previous video, I spoke about Destiny and it being like just a grind.
A grindy, yeah.
The Anthem grind was 10 times worse.
Oh, goodness.
It was 10 times worse.
Yeah.
And because there was no end game, you're getting all this loot for nothing.
It was a looter shooter. It became probably a very, very bad looter shooter.
It became a very bad looter shooter. And the reason for that is because it had no end game.
Yeah.
So you're getting all this stuff, but what are you doing with this stuff?
Yeah.
Nothing. Because there's no end game.
And what was crazy about that as well is that I heard that the community just blew up in uproar. It was just, what is this? This makes no sense. This is dead.
Yeah.
And I think the developers were saying, okay, cool, we're going to basically revamp this.
Mm-hmm.
But then
news
came that they just pulled out. It's either they were going to work on it, they done it and it was worse, and then they said they were going to work on it again, and then they just done nothing about it.
Because essentially, they took time to listen to the community and they were like, okay, we're releasing all these fixes.
What do you need?
We're going to bring back Endgame. I mean, we're not going to bring back Endgame because there was no Endgame. So we're going to bring an Endgame. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. But then what they brought in that was bugginess, drops in frame rates, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then EA was just like, do you know what, BioWare? Hold tight, you, man. We're going to pull you out of this project because...
See ya.
Because the game sucks. And we don't want that on our conscience.
Yeah.
So
it was nuts. It showed a bad side to EA, which I mean wasn't a surprise, but it's one of those moments where a game that was very, very promising for what it was, just fell below the sink in a very, very bad way.
The bar was just
in hell.
Yeah. The
bar was in hell, and all we asked was a good UI, UX, and a good gameplay, and we didn't get that. And speaking of something that we didn't get, I'm just going to flat out say it. Cyberpunk 2077. There are so many things that could be said about this game. There's hundreds. There's hundreds of videos on YouTube already.
There's the fact that it came late. There was the fact that it came late and it was dead. There was the fact that it came late and it just didn't work.
Bro, peep this, right? I don't think this has ever happened in PlayStation history where a game has been pulled off the platform within a week due to it being so bad and buggy.
Yeah.
My friends who had it on PC downloaded a 60 gig patch only for it to just not load. There are multiple videos of absolute glitches, like how they're saying you could speak to any people in any world which have their own individual lives. And it's just one NPC that's just circling the block, saying the exact same shit. Like, it was dog doo-doo. And even before, like, we even came to record this, I watched a video basically of a guy that says, I played Cyberpunk 7 months later, which I'll link, is by GameSpot.
After most, because they're still to this day working on this game.
Oh, bro, and even when you watch the video, because I'm pretty sure that video at the time of this recording came out a couple of days to a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
and it was still the same thing. They have a roadmap. We aim to do this and that. The roadmap
each time is a year long.
It's the same thing.
Was already late by a year.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, your game is 2 years late.
And to be honest, though, when they were making the game, to be honest, at the time that they announced it, they were still working on The Witcher 3, I believe, and they were still developing that. And so they really only had a couple years. They were basically so behind schedule. It was so bad that it was just like, due dates here. Like, where's the CD that we need to get printed off? All right, cool. Here it is. Which one? Which version is it? All right, fuck it. Doesn't matter. We'll just publish it anyway. And that's the one where it came out. And it's just like, CD Projekt Red is obviously known for the Witcher series, and
they're known for really, really good games.
Very good, well detailed games that will take up hundreds of hours of your time.
intricacies.
And yeah, I've seen so many glitches. There's hundreds, if not thousands, of videos on YouTube about how disappointing Cyberpunk 2020 is. 2077, 2020 has just been a dead year anyway, so I might as well call it Cyberpunk 2020. But yeah, man, it was nuts. It was absolutely nuts. I remember just looking at that thinking, fudge me, this is disgusting. You know, the fact that we were robbed, the community was robbed, people were literally robbed of their finances because of this game. PlayStation took it down. I mean, it's back up now. I literally said, I saw a tweet that said, the only time I'm going to buy this game is when it costs £15 on the PlayStation store.
Yep.
And even then I might consider it.
I feel that sentiment.
Even then I might consider it.
So basically, The Witcher 3 came out. We waited 2 years. And then we got teased with Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, oh my days.
This is going to be nuts.
CD Projekt Red is back with another game already.
And it's Cyberpunk as well?
Cyberpunk.
Futuristic?
Like, everyone was just going wild. And then they were like, yes, here's the date.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to come out on this date, guys. Be ready. The date arrives. Oh, guys, like, our game is just not working. So here's another date.
Mm-hmm. Which is natural.
The new date comes. Guys, oh, man, so sorry. Like, apologies. The game's not going to come out on this day.
Yeah, they push it like 4 or 5 times.
And then the game finally comes out. And then we get that.
Chaos. Absolute
and then
chaos.
It's like, oh, guys, we're so sorry. Like, the game is terrible. But here's our roadmap of, like, all the fixes that we're going to give you. And it's like month 1, month 2, all the way to, like, 12 months. And we're just like,
and there's a funny video of the guy who developed, or who was the like chief like overseer of the game
of development.
And I feel like someone asked him, was like, did you know that the game was going to be like this upon release? And if you look at his face, you could tell that he knew, but he just didn't say anything. Like, do you know? Hold on, I just realized. Do you know how bad a game has to be for the developer to release an apology video?
Yeah, legit.
I'm deep in it. Like, he literally sat there and said, yo, we are so sorry for what we've done to the community. Like, we knew it was going to happen, but low-key, we didn't want to tell you, but I just have to pretend that I didn't know that this was going to happen, so I'm sorry anyway. Like, a developer has to write an apology, like a social media influencer apology video for a game that he oversees that was so bad. Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, like I said, I was excited when I saw that.
Yeah.
When it was unveiled, announced, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, I'm not playing that game until.
Yeah, when it's £15 on the PlayStation store in 2023.
Whenever, really.
Yeah.
Because. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear it, bro. And I did want to quickly put down some honorable mentions. One of which is Kingdom Hearts 3. Game was too easy, mechanics were too repetitive, and I feel like I wanted a bit more worlds, as massive as each world was.
And I feel like that's another game.
What, Kingdom Hearts 3?
Yeah, that they were just like, oh my guys.
I waited.
It's like guys, it's coming, guys.
Yuri,
guys.
I'm a fan.
It's like guys, it's coming. Like, Kingdom Hearts 3, guys. Just wait. And then it came and it was like, what?
Yes. Oh, bro, I finished it in a day.
It came and it was like,
is this it?
Like,
and then they released DLC, which, by the way, was actually very good, but it was just like
to me, when developers do that, it's like, shut up and take the game, man.
Yeah.
Just take it, get off my back.
Yeah.
And just play.
Yeah.
But you can't do that.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
I've been waiting for Kingdom Hearts 3 to the point where I would see Kingdom Hearts 3 videos and it would either be never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, or it was flipping like just CGI cutscenes from what would then be Birth by Sleep.
I feel like the reason though why that game was not as good is because of Final Fantasy 15.
Why is that?
Because to me, their priority was Final Fantasy 15. I'm talking about Square Enix, by the way, guys. So
did Tetsuya Nomura develop both?
I don't think he developed them, but obviously Square Enix being the publisher of that game, of both games.
Yeah,
I feel like their priority was putting all the manpower into Final Fantasy 15.
Because 15 came out in
15
2016, 2017.
Yeah, around that time.
Yeah.
And then a whole bunch of DLC came out as well after that. Because you had a DLC you basically had a consequent DLC every year after the game came out.
Yeah.
And that game, Final Fantasy 15, is a beautiful game.
Oh.
Final Fantasy 15?
Oh, that should have been... Yeah.
Final Fantasy 15 is borderline Square Enix film graphics.
Yeah.
Film graphics. And is like... When we talk about Square Enix graphics...
Yeah, he did develop both, I was right.
It's Square Enix graphics. We'll talk about it in a separate video. But that game, I feel like, just had priority over Kingdom Hearts 3. And that's why Kingdom Hearts 3 was so bad.
And my partner can attest to this, because there was a time where we stayed together in uni and I had finished all of my assignments, right? She had an assignment that she had to do and it was due the next day. So she woke up early to do it. I played Final Fantasy 15, no word of a lie, for like 12, 13 hours straight. Just banging it. I put in 70 hours before I'd done like most of the main mission. Like I only done the main missions to get to do more side stuff. Like that game was crazy. But yeah, like Kingdom Hearts 3 was just too easy, very short, unnecessarily like repetitive. And another one I had was Pokemon X and Y. Same reason, too easy, very repetitive. Story was shit. Like it was just nuts. But I actually want to get into something very quickly about games that were quite disappointing upon release, but were able to rebound back. And one of the biggest examples is No Man's Sky. And that was one game that I feel like lost the community, but was able to get it back again.
Not me though.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. But like, it just made me realize how No Man's Sky literally... Same. It's the same stuff. It's the same snake oil. You can explore all these different planets. Every planet's different. There's quadrillions, X, Y, Z. You explore it, and when you actually play the game, it's a disappointment. And it got to a point where
that was me, by the way. I was one of those day one players.
Yeah, and it was one of those moments where it lost the community. But I'd say maybe within the last 2 years or so, well, year and a half, I'd like to say, they have really managed to bring back a fresh community and the existing ones again. Like, they've really managed to switch it around, I think. And it just comes to show that all it takes is no execs, in my opinion, and people who are really willing to actually do the groundwork and make it happen. And so as much as all of these games disappointed us, they all had an opportunity to fix it, which I feel like wasn't really managed.
I feel like it's easier, though, when you're a smaller indie studio.
100%.
Because I feel like that's why No Man's Sky was able to do that over the space of 2 years, although the game came out way longer than that.
Yeah.
But say, for example, CD Projekt Red and Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be tough for them.
Yeah, they're massive.
To bring that game back. Because by the time they do bring that back, people would have gotten over it.
And they need to add more mechanics and more things in order for in order to kind of entice the people to come back and say, you know what?
And not only that, it's because also they're a bigger studio. People are just going to expect a new game instead. Yeah. They're not going to expect you to keep working on this game.
Yeah, pie it off and bring in something else.
They're just going to get over it, and it's like...
Boom.
We've forgotten about that. Like,
forget
what's
that.
next?
Yeah.
Because, like, you're a big public... Like, you're a big developer.
Yeah.
What's the next game? We don't care about that.
Sort it out. Yeah. So, if there's any that you guys feel as if we missed out, but also games that you feel like disappointed you to the point of just no return, like No Man's Sky or Anthem or Cyberpunk or Watch Dogs, definitely let us know. Pop it in the comments. This is one that I feel like would be very interesting. I would really love to know what games really sort of riled you up a bit and actually subverted your expectations. So with that being said, I'm Archie.
I'm Yuri.
And if you like the content,
you know what to do.
Exactly.
Stay safe, stay sane, stay challenged.
Oh my gosh. I just love it. I 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 love it.